What's up, guys? We're Past Pop Culture. My name is Ricky with my co-host here, Mrphen.
Hello.
And then we got my cousin here, Angel, the resident One Piece aficionado, I guess. Manga elitist.
Yeah. Fanatic.
Fanatic, yeah. There you go. But yeah,
I just belong in a church of Oda. That's it.
Okay.
Church of Oda. Oh my god. Well, if that is any indicator of what the kind of episode we're gonna have today, we're gonna be going over the One Piece, TV series for the live action. Essentially, I thought it was a movie.
I thought it was a movie.
We're like, oh, we're gonna watch it, and then because I was like, oh, okay, and then we end up, oh, it's a TV series because we have been totally out of the loop. So that's where we brought on Angel because he manga, everything. He knows it. He knows way more than we do because if we're going to talk about this, we have no idea because me and Fen, no idea. We went into this totally blind. I've never seen One Piece outside of the clips that Angel sends me. That's literally it. Outside of those clips, I really have no connection to it or anything. So I think for right now, of course, I'm going to mention this is spoiler territory. We're going to give a quick, what do we think about it? Overview. No spoilers, hopefully, right? But we're going to go into a little bit more detail. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it if you're interested in watching it. I think it's pretty good. That's kind of my little thing on top. It's okay, it's not bad. I think for a live action, definitely probably the better live action that's been out. I don't know what would be a better anime.
I would low key say
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop, yes. We don't talk about them.
Well, besides the ending of Cowboy Bebop, I thought it was great.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Oh, I thought they did I think they did a really good job in comparing to real life to the anime.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty on point, not on one-to-one aspect, but they got majority of the stuff pretty correct and everything. I thought, and the graphics weren't cheesy and horrible. Ong, actually got the fucking names right. Thank you.
So then, what would you rate the One Piece with no spoilers?
Honestly, I'll give it a solid for a anime adaptation. I give it 7. Honestly,
I think that's fair.
I agree.
So I'm gonna give you 2 point of views right now. So I'm gonna give you from I'm a non-anime, non-manga that aspect, and then one is coming from that aspect. Coming from the non-anime, it's actually really enjoyable. It wasn't slow paced at all. I didn't really feel like that. The animation, the graphics, the CGI they did for the Devil Fruits, for normally stretches and everything, was actually not that bad.
It didn't look cartoony for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, it actually looks realistic. It doesn't look
they spent more than 5 minutes on VFX? Wow.
Yeah.
Better than Marvel?
With a little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like overall, I thought they did a good job. I loved the character dynamic between Zoro and Nami.
Okay.
I know because you guys didn't really get that far into it, but first when I first met Zoro, I was like, whatever. But then he actually ended up becoming one of my favorite characters in that series.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually my favorite character in overall in manga and anime too. Yeah, because I have a tattoo of him too, and the poster. But the dynamic between them two was actually really good. Because everyone in the Straw Hat crew has a pretty shitty past. I'm actually pretty happy they kind of kept it. They kept the past the same. So that was really nice. As a manga viewer, I enjoyed that part. I was like, hey, I actually kept the backstories. Thank you for not changing that. But as a non-anime, I thought the story was well paced. It was good. The Buggy, dude, I fucking love what they did with Buggy.
He was really cool. I love that guy.
There's actually a manga joke saying, he's gonna be ending Pirate King at the fucking end because somehow everything always ends up well. Even though he gets fucking trashed, gets beat up, cut up, whatever, he somehow always like ends up there. He is like, it's fucking insane. I was like, Buggy D Cloud, bro, let's go. He's awesome. And then so I thought it was like the only thing I gotta say was not well done, and I kinda admit it will be kind of hard to do is with the fishman.
Oh, okay.
Like the waiter you saw, like from Saji, and then like or when you first walked in, the fish guy. They're called fishmen.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, even for Arlong, which is like the big bad boss at the very end of the series, and dude, Arlong Park. When you're watching the anime, if you cannot get past Arlong Park, I don't know what to tell you, man. Because that was one, like, Arlong Park is what got me into like freaking One Piece, dude. It was sick, that arc. And they did a pretty good job in the TV series too. But man, the looks of them just looked weird. It was just,
it's probably hard to translate, right?
Yeah, That's why I'm giving it kind of a break. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was my main thing that I was thinking about while watching it. That, not to knock on it, but necessarily, like, it almost looked fan made. Just because of how they were trying to keep everything in line. Wow, I don't know much about, but I've seen the characters, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, like, they tried to keep things in line, but it did have a weird, like, it was feeling like watching it because things that were very anime, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't translate the same way as to live action, because you realize, oh, it does look a little silly in real life.
Yeah.
But I was like, I still appreciated them, like, hey, trying to keep things fairly accurate, because that's been a problem, like, with Marvel or DC, is like updating like with Superman, right? He's got the underwear on, basically, and he's like, oh, he's got his red underwear, and it's like some people don't like that anymore because it's like, oh, it looks too cartoony, and so it's like they kind of dropped that, right? But I appreciate that they're trying to keep things.
Woo!
Yeah, it doesn't matter if Henry Cavill's wearing it, right?
Cheeks. So? I prefer him with no underwear.
Undersized. Yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. I think the atmosphere was really good. I think they captured things pretty well. That it felt, even though I haven't seen it, it felt very anime. The show felt very anime. Like, if that, it just that.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They were able to, like, carry it over, transcribe a lot of the stuff over. Even though I would say that there are points where it's slightly to its detriment, like you were saying with the fisherman, right? Or certain the costume design seemed a little off. But it's the authenticity of it, which I think more people appreciate than you going in and, like, rewriting everything, changing all the designs. Nobody looks like anybody, right? I think like with Avatar, the live action, right? When they did that way back then, they changed so many things. Characters didn't look like each other, right?
They didn't pronounce his fucking name right, bro.
And then so it was off, right? So there's a balance that you have to strike. And sometimes you can just choose to go one way or the other. But I think I appreciate it overall. Like, oh, there's that anime authenticity to it. And so I think, surface level, I think I agree with like a 7. Fen, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it, to be honest. I was very surprised because most, Death Note live action, I don't need to say anymore, but it's just like, those are just absolute trash. And it's like, because I saw it with my parents because they wanted to see it because, again, I thought it was a movie. So they wanted to keep watching, and I do want to finish it because it was quite entertaining. And I will say this. It does make me want to watch the anime. So, but
I'm gonna give you this. I'm just giving you a forewarning. The anime pacing in the beginning, up to Whole Cake Island, like all the way to like the beginning of Whole Cake Island. It's pretty bad, but it's somewhat bearable. But the moment you get into Whole Cake Island, oh my god, the pacing becomes garbage, bro. It becomes straight garbage. That's the reason why I got turned off from the anime, because the pacing was so slow.
Right.
It was so like, I was like, just stick to one part, bro. Like, it's like I just go on. Like, you don't have to go like, I don't need to see 20 different reactions in one episode. It's
Kind of like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, no, dude, it's worse. It's worse. Yeah,
Yikes. Okay.
I'd rather have him screaming for 3 minutes than seeing.
There's a still shot of him screaming. It's the same frame that flip back and forth.
The same fight. They're still seeing the same fight. What One Piece does, it'll go from one fight to another 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 fight, and then the big fight we want to see. They'll give us like a good solid 3-4 minutes. We're like, hell yeah, and then go bro.
Oh, so it goes back and forth. Oh,
yeah, it's really bad. There's a website I could let you know that kind of cuts all that filler out. So and because the amount of backflash, like it's on a level of Naruto's backswing. Like there's that many flashbacks. Yeah, it's.
So it's like when they did Shippuden, right? And then at the very beginning, and when they're like, "Oh shoot, you get to see Sasuke, right?" And then you just don't get to figure out until like halfway through the series, like, we finally get to the present time.
There was also like at one point where I think it was also during Whole Cake where you literally skip the first 5 minutes of the episode because it was part of the previous episode.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like that much of it was showing you that much of a flashback.
It was at least the live action series they don't do that.
That's why. Non-spoiling. Yeah, it was 7. But as an anime manga lover, it changed some of the iconic stuff moments. But they kind of kept it to their true self, like the hat on Nami's head. That part, it was a little different, but they did that shit from like how it looked, from shot to shot, how you put it, like on. It was really well done. I was like, let's go. Some of the but they mix a lot of things like Garp. Like you don't know about him until way later on. Like way later on. I was like, wait, they're really showing Garp in this? I was like, okay, all right then. And like you don't know, like, and like when you first meet him, it's completely different how it's done. Weapons is like I don't remember meeting Nami that early in the series. I know she was like very in the beginning, but I don't remember her meeting with Zoro. The one thing I was kind of like pissed about was that one of the most iconic scenes from Zoro in the very beginning of the series. Because you know how he ate it? The thing from the ground?
Yeah.
That didn't happen at that time.
Oh, really?
That happened somewhere else. And it was like a little more emotional too, This way, like the way they did, like the way in the show, I kind of feel like he just did it just to do it.
It did feel kind of out of place, right? Because he was still like that badass character, and he's like, let me just be nice all of a sudden.
Would it be okay if I explain this? Because
okay, well now we're gonna go pretty much into spoilers because we're already kind of branching in there. So spoilers already now. So basically to round it off, right? So pretty much a good 7.5 across the board. It's enjoyable. Go watch it. You can use it as a way to kind of like get your feet wet, see if you like it. No pun intended as well.
If you like the show, I highly think you will actually enjoy watching the anime.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Or even read the manga. Honestly, in my opinion, read the manga. Reading the manga is so much different. It's very well done. Oda, there's a reason why in the anime community, in manga community, he's known as Goda. Oh, and that's another reason why the show was so well done, was that everything had to go past Oda first.
Yeah.
If he said, if he saw something and he didn't like it, he's like, no, can't be done. Redo it. Reshoot. Nope, not having it. Like, he even flew to America to watch it live, to premiere, to make sure it went good. Like, it was up to his expectations.
Okay.
That. Yeah, he snuck in. Like no one knew he was there. Like I was like, what? Like damn, I wish I was
All right.
there.
Now you can spoil it.
Okay, but
Now you can go off.
Okay, so like Luffy first meets Zoro when he's already tied up.
Yeah.
On a post, and he's been starving already for a couple of days. It's a little girl. She snuck into the military base to feed him, and then
okay.
yeah. So she actually snuck in, and that's a felon. That's illegal. You can't do that. And she was about to feed him, and like the Marines knocked her down, whatever. And so like they threw her back out, like, hey, you can't be here, whatever. Or something, some shit like that. I was like, but I think that happened. I was so long ago when I watched this. But anyways, like the food was on the ground, and Luffy, because he heard about Zoro, he's like, I want this dude on my crew. He sounds dope as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he went, saw him, and Zoro asked him if he could pick up the rice balls that was on the ground and feed it to him. So there were dirt covered rice balls, and he ate it. And he told the girl like it was still delicious. Like he afterwards and everything, he told it was delicious and everything.
That's way different.
Yeah, so it was a lot more emotional. I was like, bro, like, what the heck?
Okay.
And yeah, so like yeah, like in the anime, Luffy used his powers a lot more often than the show.
I was gonna ask you that because I felt like he only used his powers here and there.
Yeah, because I think that's more for budget wise. They couldn't afford to do that too much. That's the only reason why I'm thinking they didn't show as much. Because dude, if you want to go from point A to point B, he's fucking stretching his arm out. He's like and pulling himself. He ain't running. He ain't walking. He's fucking slingshotting himself from where he needs to be. Like
gotta go.
And like his personality is a lot more goofy in the anime, which is understandable.
Yeah.
In the show, they showed him be a lot more intelligent, to say the least. Not to be mean, but Luffy isn't very smart, and I did kind of like the show. Like they didn't really. I also at this point they didn't show him much of a food lover as he truly is. Like this man will do anything for food. Like I saw this meme that made me fucking laugh. It was I was like, Luffy shows a village. I'm about to pillage and fuck up your entire island. They're like, we have food to give you, to share with you. He's like, I will protect you with my life. Like he loves food. Like if you feed him, you are best friends immediately. Immediately best friends. Like he's saving. Like he will die to protect you. Like it's crazy. It's the amount for food. And then but the dynamic of the crew was really well done though, and I did like they show a lot of the mini conversations that we don't see in the manga.
Right.
A lot of the like, off-site information that canon information that we get is I forgot what they're called, but because Oda they do Q&As with Oda, and so like people ask him all these questions, like fans will ask him all these different questions, and so this is how we find out a lot of this canon stuff, like what their attitudes were and everything, like planting the tangerine oranges onto the going Mary. Like, dude, that was beautiful. I was like, yes, I really thought it was really well done. But like the law conversation, like the Zoro and Nami, that dynamic, I never really thought of their dynamic that strong, and they didn't really show that being that strong and like close in the manga and anime. So I really appreciate they did that in the show. I actually kind of liked Usopp in the show. I was actually surprised because, dude, I hate Usopp. I hate Usopp with the burning passion. God Usopp is different. So I'm just letting you know, God, Usopp, this man here has 3 different forms. Or actually, there are 3 different people. Or he dresses up. One's called God Usopp. and that's because in like one of the future series, he ends up becoming like the most wanted man on an island because of what he did, and it was freaking hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And then Soge King, because this motherfucker did something disrespectful, and so like he kind of put on a mask and like tricked Luffy in saying he's someone else just to help the crew out. And man, that motherfucker, he was a badass. Like he was just fucking snapping people left and right. He was like, what? It was dope. But Usopp, as a person, I hated him. I fucking hate him. Like he's like, but but in the show, they actually made him very likable. I was like, okay, that's a little strange.
So that's weird to you.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, he's a little. It was a little annoying in the beginning, like when you first meet him.
Yeah.
But like by the end, I was like, God, he's pretty cool.
Okay.
But like, yeah, so like they did a decent job in like keeping some of the dynamics and like some of the storyline correct. And but like they mixed a lot of things. Like one thing, like Garth, like you always start motherfucker into way later, and like is like so I don't know if I enjoyed seeing him so early in the series, but with Kobe too, like you don't see much of Kobe in the manga after he joins the Marines. You don't see that motherfucker for that mother guy for a very long time. Like it's I don't know, like a long time till you see him, and he's already like big and built. So it's kind of cool to see him being trained, like actually seeing him put to action and what made Garp take him in. So I thought that was pretty cool. They did get correct though, like in the fight, like all the major fights, between him and like the axe guy, that was right. The online fight was good. The whole buggy scene, bro. I honestly don't remember much of the first time meeting Buggy, but man, that show actually did a really good job. Like
that was my favorite part, like the whole Buggy fight. I actually liked it.
Like that's what I don't understand. Buggy has one of the most OP fruits, but he doesn't use it to its potential, man. And it's
just an anime trope.
And like they didn't they definitely changed Luffy's character dynamic a little bit, just to be a little more intelligent, a little more, I guess, heroic. I want to say, because in the manga and the anime, Luffy's all about freedom. Right. Which I mean, they did touch on that when Zoro got fucking sliced the fuck up by Mihawk. That shit. Dude, that was one of my favorite parts in the entire series. Oh man, like in the manga and the anime, bro, like that was beautiful. But the show did a pretty good job too. I don't know, because I think I'm not too sure, because it's when I hear it in Japanese, I feel like there's a lot more emotion in the voices compared to American voices. Not to be mean, like there's sometimes it can be emotional, but I feel like in other languages, emotions come out so much stronger in their in their language. Like the best way I can tell it is music. Sometimes you can hear a Mexican love song and you're like, oh my god, I love the song. You hear in English, you're like,
it sounds so weird, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so but it just I feel just more like emotions driven and I can hear in the voices compared to the live action, which is I'm not get their fault. They're young actors too, which I'm very happy they did the races correct, the ethnicities correct, because people were mad that Usopp was African American. I'm like African. I was like, That's what Oda said he is. What? He has. I'm like, and people are like, he has dreadlocks. I'm like, he has dreadlocks in the manga and anime. Like, what? What are you talking about? Like, so Luffy's Brazilian, Zoro's Japanese, Nami is Swedish, Usopp is African, Sanji is French.
So it's a one world government, though, right? In the series.
Yes, and so like 50 something kingdoms or whatever. They're all unified or I think 150. I saw a certain amount of kingdoms. Yeah, they're all united into one. The world government. And
so
then
it's just this oppressive force over them, right? So that's the whole series is kind of like fighting back.
There's like a perfect. Actually, the show that did a really good job of doing this. There's good pirates and bad pirates. There's also really good marines. There's also really bad.
Yeah,
marines.
They harped on that pretty hard.
Yeah. So, and honestly, that is 100% true in both the anime and the manga. Like a lot of the vice. That's why like Garp. He even said. I'm happy they said that in the anime or in the show too, that the reason he doesn't go up to Fleet Admiral, which is pretty much the second highest ranking in the entire Navy. So it goes. I forgot the top rank. I'm blanking out. Warden. Wow, I'm horrible. But there's the top ranking, and then there's Fleet Admirals. There's 3 of them. There's always 3 of them, and then there's Vice Admirals. He never goes up to the second one because as a Vice Admiral, he's free to do what he wants. He could do whatever. But the moment he's an admiral, like a fleet admiral, every move he does is controlled.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I want that freedom. And like, there's pirates like Luffy's like the Straw Hat the pirates. They're good. They don't loot. Innocent villagers.
They're not like looting and pillaging and burning down.
Shanks' crew is another perfect example of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure they don't loot innocent villagers. I'm pretty sure they loot. I know they loot other pirates.
Which is okay.
So they have PvP enabled. That's it.
Another thing they did a good job is how Shanks loses his arm is actually how it's done in the manga and anime. I'm like,
that creature was sick. I like that creature.
Yeah, they're called Sea Kings.
Oh.
And you get messed up.
So, because I was gonna say,
I was like, another thing that did cool was that they showed hockey. So when his arm got bit off and he told it to go away, and you saw how kind of like his eyes.
Yeah, his eye.
So what that's called? It's called the Conqueror's Hockey, and only a certain amount of people actually could use that. So it's like their power system. Like hockey is their power system, and you're born with it. So you're either there's 3 types. There's observation, armament, and conquerors. So conquerors hockey are people are known to be like going to be top dogs in the entire world. Like they're like become the most powerful people. And so I like how they showed that. I was like, okay. I was kind of hoping they'll show Garp using his hockey, because when he first meets Luffy's like passed out after a fight, and he's fat because he's all stretched out from food. Which I was a little mad they didn't show that in the show, because when he's full, he stretches his belly like it's a balloon.
That's disgusting.
Like, yeah, and I was kind of hoping they didn't show that in the show. I was disappointed. But he comes in and he's like, I was like, coughs, and he's like, he turns his arm into hockey, which is the arm in hockey, and he gets his fist of love and just fucking wails on him, waking him up. And because blunt force doesn't hurt him. Yeah. The only because bullets don't hurt him. The only things that hurt him is sharp objects like knives, swords that could cut, like rubber, or the use of hockey, because hockey could fight against devil fruit users.
Okay, so on that, what was the seawater thing?
He
couldn't use his powers or something.
Yeah.
Since you're
So
on that topic.
so what devil fruits are? Once you bite it, as you saw, they kind of like it was a little different. But it's kind of same in the show. He was with Shanks, but like they were showing it off. And he's like, "Hey, look what we got! It's like our biggest treasure we have." That's the reason they were celebrating because they took it from Marines, and Luffy just eats it in one bite, right there,
Okay.
like in whole. And he's like, "Ooh," and he's like, "That's nasty." And so like in the show, it was a little different. He kind of height it's written like so. I was like, "What the heck?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"Whatever."
chomping a wound.
So once you eat it, you gain a power, whatever of that fruit is. And like they said, Makino, she explained in the show too. There's only one devil fruit in the world of that power, and there's 3 different kinds. There's Logias, Paramecic. I can't say that one. Paramecic, whatever it's called. People are gonna make fun of me. I can't say that shit, but whatever. And then there's I think it's like a mythical or something like that. It's like unique grade type stuff. So Logias, you turn into whatever that power is. So like the biggest one is known as the flare fruit. And so like your body literally turns into fire. So if someone tries to punch you like with no hockey, just punch you, shoots you, whatever, you're gonna go right through him. He's gonna turn to flame and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So yeah, your body forms into that thing, like forms into it.
Mm-hmm.
So like people said Luffy was like that, but I'm like that makes no sense. I feel like he was kind of a mixture between Logia and the Paramecic because his devil fruit is actually very rare. I'm not gonna touch on. I mean, I guess it's in the anime, so it's been spoiled. But like his fruit is very special.
Mm-hmm.
So like a good example is her name is Nami. She's like one of the biggest waifus in the entire series. She's able to create organ like her arm or her limbs. She's able to create limbs from anywhere. So that's like more of a paramecic. Like it's or
wait, Nami
guy,
is the girl with the orange hair?
Not Nami. Oh my God, Robin.
Oh, I was
Sorry,
like,
because I'm looking at I'm a Nami. I'm looking at Nami right now on my fucking mouse pad. Robin has it. Nami has no devil fruit. She's her staff, bro. She has a staff where she literally just controls weather.
Nice.
So she's like, oh, I'm gonna create a fucking thunderstorm really quick. What? Like what the fuck? But yeah, Robin, she's able to do that, and then and there's mythical fruit like there's one called the phoenix fruit or something like that where like he pretty much cannot die. It's a phoenix, like it's the power of a phoenix. He's also able to heal people too.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty dope. I mean, he could die if you like completely crush his heart and brain, pretty much. But that's pretty much it.
I'd assume so, right?
Yeah,
I'd hope he died.
yeah, but like those fruits are like so the moment you eat them, you get those powers. But this sea mother Earth or sea, the sea water, sea goddess, the entity of the sea, rejects them. So the moment they touch seawater, their powers they can't use it anymore. It becomes like it's literally in like they cannot activate it. If they're Logias, you're able to actually hitting them, you can stab them, whatever. So they lose all access to their powers if they're in. And so I don't think they showed it in the show, but they actually make cuffs called sea stone prisms that's made from sea salt, like from like actual sea, like seawater and everything. And they use that. That's how they handle the for users.
I see.
Or like, if you're a devil fruit user, you're automatically stronger than most people in the entire world. But it doesn't mean you're the most powerful. because perfect example, Shanks. So there's they talk about the warlords in the show. Mihawk is one of them. He ain't no dual fruit. And he's one of the most powerful people in the world. And so above them, so above the 7 warlords, they're called the emperors, the sea emperors. That's what Shanks is. And that motherfucker lost an arm, and he's like, he's still one of the most feared people in the entire world, man. Like, if he shows up, everyone's like, deuces. Like, they'll literally like, I'm good. I'm fine. Like, 2 perfect examples of this is during the Marineford arc. Oh, the Marineford arc. God, dude, that's where I cry. I cry so much. So at the very end, like the Marines were about to like finish off the pirates, and then fucking Shank shows up. He's like, "All right, boys, why don't we just stop there?" And the Marines were like, "Yeah, we're good. We don't want to fight no more.
My bad.
We're fine. You guys can flee. Leave, please. Leave the base." And another one is the new movie Red. I still wish they stick to with the original story that they were going to do with Red. But at the end of Red, like the Marines, like so all the fleet admirals were like all 3 of them were there, and then Shanks was like, "All right, if you guys want to fight, I guess we can fight, you know." And they're like, "Yeah, we have a lot of injured men. We should probably make sure they're okay, you know." I was like, "Yeah, dude, like they know, like we can't fuck with them." Like, and it's crazy because like, because Shrink doesn't have a very big crew, but they're like the best of the best, which is really weird because I don't think Luffy ever told Usopp about his dad. Like that soon, I think. Yeah, I remember him telling him that early.
Well, they changed a lot, so
yeah. So that, like a lot of future stuff, they told, like, gave you information already. I was like,
are they doing any more episodes after the 8 that came out, or?
I think they're gonna wait and see how it is. I'm actually a little sad and disappointed that like Japan and I don't know if other countries have the access as well, but they have a Japanese dub version of like the show.
That's kind of funny.
That's interesting.
Of the OG voice actors, like the actual voice
anime,
actors.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
And I was like, why don't I get that option?
Because you got it made here.
I guess, like, but I want the chance.
Every code Netflix allows, like, hey, this is the Japanese voice dub, but.
One thing that did kind of tick me off in the very beginning is that they did not mention the One Piece at all until like, okay, so in the very beginning, the guy asking him was like, "Where is the One Piece? Where is your treasure?"
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And they changed that line. I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's like the whole reason why the whole crowd is going wild is for the One Piece, not just his treasure. It's the fucking One Piece.
Oh yeah, because he just said, "Oh yeah, my treasure's out there," right?
Yeah, and like, and because I thought he himself said go find the One Piece, but then my friend sent me a clip. He's like, no, I'm like, oh, the random pirate did. I was like, okay, but yeah, I was like. But I'm very stoked. At the very end, though, they showed one of my favorite characters. His name is Smoker. Dude, that guy, badass Marine. Like, so the reason I call him a Smoker is because one, he's nonstop smoking cigars, and his dough fruit is that he to smoke fruit, so he literally turns into smoke.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So they all got kind of like interesting powers and everything. Oh, okay.
I don't know who the guy. The Garp's right hand man was. I thought it was Rob Lucy from but I'm like, I don't think it was. I don't think I ever heard his name said, his right hand. So I'm just like, Unless someone someone tells me, I really look at it. But I was trying to figure out who that guy was because I could not figure who Garth's right hand man was. I'm like he kind of looked like Rob Lucci. Okay, that guy's badass.
Okay.
So my main question, and this I guess is more for Fen though, is this what converts you to a One Piece fan? Is this it?
No.
I will.
I'm gonna say why. I'm gonna say why. It is a really I do enjoy it a lot, but I'm viewing it as how do I say this, as a pirate show instead of a One Piece adaptation. I know One Piece is pirate and everything, but it's just I'm thinking it's more like Pirates of the Caribbean than One Piece. I know that's
You're enjoying it in that vein rather than for the anime.
Because when I first started watching it, I was like, okay, I know it's anime, and I prefer anime instead of live action adaptations because it's you can only do certain things in anime, and there is stuff in the show that doesn't translate well, right? And it's if I try to view it as okay, I'm gonna watch the anime, I'm not gonna really enjoy it that much. But if it's more along the lines of okay, maybe it's a Pirates of the Caribbean movie or something, it's I kind of find it a little bit more enjoyable.
Let's see if you get a lot of hate for that one.
I will, don't worry, because it's just the costumes and everything are cool and everything, but it's just if you it's supposed to be anime, and it's just whenever I view something and it's it has to be an anime, it cuts me off, and it's no, this is not gonna work.
And you got really bright in your room, Angel.
Yeah, the
Angel's about to smite me. That's what's
yeah.
The sun came out.
I take it back. I'll watch the anime.
But a lot. What I don't like a lot is that people see One Piece as a fighting anime, which pisses me off. I'm
as
it's
a
not
fighting anime?
Yes, I'm it's not a fighting anime. That's what that's what people are complaining about. It's oh, the fights suck. I'm they're complaining about the fight. I'm first of all, there's a lot of badass fights in the show. I don't know what you've been watching, but there's a lot of badass fights.
Interesting.
But it's an adventure series. It's about the adventure. I will say, the manga wise, it is probably one of the best well-written, best stories I've ever read. Manga wise, and I've read a shit ton of manga.
Yeah,
I'm reading everything, and just the amount of foreshadow and thinking that Oda makes you do for this show. He'll bring stuff back from hundreds and hundreds chapters ago. You completely forgot about that, and it comes into play now. You're just oh my god, that's why that happened. And you're just he is phenomenal, and a lot of people, and that's I just know a lot of people you have to see it as more as the adventure,
right.
It's not going from
journey, not the destination.
Yeah, it's not him. Yeah, it's him fighting the One Piece.
Is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, that's why actually I really enjoy this in the show is that Luffy, yes, he wants his crew to be loyal, but if his crew wants to go do something that they want to do for their dreams, he's go do it. It's go ahead. And that's why his crew is so loyal. That's why Zoro, this actually in the manga, this is what made Zoro so loyal to Luffy. And it's and this is being why it's cemented why, or actually just another scene that reason why that's the thing I've tattooed on my chest. It's this man literally singly saved the crew and no one knew about it. He just said nothing happened. And because people asked him because he was all bloodied up and fucked up, and people asked what happened. He's nothing happened, and he just took it and just fucking fainted, and no one knew what he did. And it was this man, he is so loyal, and I believe that Luffy if there's a dream for his crew wants to do, if they need to leave or go do it, he's letting them be. He's when he was about to die, and Nami was yelling out why are you? He's yes, I will do anything to save him, except crush his dream. That's not my place. If unlike that's what it was Nami too. So you guys didn't get to that far, but later on, like Luffy's like, if you need help, ask me for help. That's when I will. And she never does, and then until she finally does, and then Luffy's like, done, and does it. Like that's all he needs. He just needs you to tell him help. Otherwise, he's in belief that you could do it, and he's like, I'm not. It's not my place to get in between your stuff if you don't ask me specifically for help. Like it's not my. It's like I said, it's not my place to be in your way. So I enjoyed that. So like, in regards to the dynamics and some of the iconic moments, they did a really good job. A lot of the other sources, like a lot of the mixing, a lot of like putting stuff in the future up so fast, I'm not a big fan of, but I understand why they're doing it.
You get it. You get it. It's like
I understand it, but would I prefer more of a 1-to-1 adaptation? Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Get 1,000 episodes of the live action.
That's just honestly though, if they get rid of all that fucking filler and all like that stupid time stuff they do, I'm down. I'm okay with that.
So let's say they're changing stuff now and whatever, and it's so the potentially they can have this be like a long series. You think it would still be decent?
Yeah, honestly, I knew exactly what they were gonna do. I knew they're gonna do the entire East Blue in one season. I knew that was gonna happen. I called that out. I was like, they had to, because if they didn't, it wouldn't make sense in any way possible. So from what they do now, I just think depends on how they're gonna mix the stories. Because I already can tell they're mixing arcs together already, or they're gonna do that, or they're gonna more fast pace it. As long as they stop where it needs to stop, like we're not as left on a huge ass cliffhanger, or just stopped at it feels like a really weird place to stop. Like it would have stopped after the whole Butler thing at the Super Village. I would like, what the heck? Like keep going, like give me Arlong Park, like you're right there, like. So if they're able to do the pacing well, honestly, I think it'd be really good. And keep the level of graphics, please. To God, don't make the CGI.
You don't want 7 Deadly Sins graphics?
No, I don't want. I don't want no Flash babies. You know, like, I don't want that.
That's a whole nother can of worms. So I think it'd be good enough to round it off here, though.
Yeah, but like
we still got to play Grounded. What is it? We're playing Grounded. Yeah. So
we can talk about this for hours.
I was done. I was finishing off there, but yeah, I was like, it did really good. Like, so they did a good job. It just as an anime manga person, I'll give it a 5, just because.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just because I think the way they did the dynamics, the character looks, like how everyone felt together. They kept they did their iconic moments somewhat true to their form. The only one I could really be mad about is the Zora one. But like, it's just, I think, but like, other than that, it wasn't due to actually how the graphics are well done.
It's just the choices they kind of
that.
made.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, I wasn't a big fan of some of their changes, like I said, the Garb. I don't really, not a big fan of meeting him so early in the series.
So,
stuff.
Last question before we finish. If a person sees the show and they want to watch the anime, where do they start?
Honestly, I'm laying you those down. The beginning part of One Piece is very rough to get through, because remember, this came out in like the 90s, or like 1999, 2000. So the graphics are pretty rough, and the make sure you don't his dub his W
The Four Kids
people,
dub or Warner Brothers, whatever it is.
Drastically horrible. So I would highly recommend it watching at least the beginning part subbed, because because their guns turn to water guns. Sanji isn't smoking a cigarette; it's a lollipop.
What?
And so because they're doing for more, because they're censoring it for American kids. So I would say the first is rough. Watch it subbed if you're not really into hearing in Japanese, but that's just my thing. But yeah, you start from the beginning and watch it all the way through. There is a website that I could possibly give out that kind of condenses a lot of it.
Probably not.
But I won't say it. Y'all could find, if you really want it, y'all could find it. Yeah, y'all could Google it. But yeah, I know it's on. I know Netflix. I know it's on Netflix. They had that great skip recap and skip intro stuff. And so if you just want to get the beginning, I think it's 50, the first 52 episodes, I think they have the entire East Blue series actually.
Dang. Okay.
There. So if you want to watch the anime, I would highly recommend you see the differences. Yeah, so Netflix is great. I think Hulu has it and Crunchyroll. So
there's a lot of options.
Yeah, there's plenty of options to watch it. The movies are amazing.
Because I know Netflix has all the movies now.
Yeah, dude, One Piece Gold. Whoo! Dude, that movie fire. Dude, the animation they do for the movies, great, phenomenal. So I highly recommend it. But honestly, I cannot stress enough, give the manga a chance. The manga, because people don't really understand. Yeah, there's over 1,000 chapters you have to read, but how fast can you read 12 pages? Pretty fast. Maybe 5 minutes tops, 6 minutes tops.
Yeah.
You could read 20 chapters within an hour if you really wanted to. It's.
How many chapters is it?
1,000, almost 1,100. Actually, I could look right now. I think it's almost.
Oh well, I mean, you can probably spend a good summer doing that or something like that, right?
It's not that. Dude, honestly, I know a lot of people. When Wano was coming out, a lot of people which is the arc that is finishing up right now. People binged it a whole summer. It's people because the amount of recap you can skip is that much. That's why I could think
it's probably more like 10 minutes an episode reality.
Yeah, it's more you're watching 15 minutes of an actual episode compared to 20, 22, whatever. And a lot of people don't realize that's someone she didn't that wasn't nonstop. They did their lives as well. It's just when they happened to watch a show, it was One Piece. It was nothing else. So it's doable.
It's doable. Yeah, it's 1,000 episodes, but it's doable. But if you guys enjoyed today's episode, something that is doable is to make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're on your preferred podcast listening platform, leave a 5 stars, leave the straw hat. I was like, oh, you're wearing the One Piece merch and everything. But leave a good review, thumbs up. However it works on there, we very much appreciate any and all support. Make sure to follow us on our social medias at Past Pop Culture, pretty much all across the board. And then we let you guys know when we usually go live. So twitch.tv/Past Pop Culture if you want to come hang out with us. When we're playing Grounded, probably for the foreseeable future. So if you're interested in watching some of that, drop by the Twitch or the Kick. And same thing, Past Pop Culture. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We'll be signing off, going over now to streaming.